Is Jiten Palaparti. I'm doing some series of videos on learning essentials. I feel like these are the essential videos every developer, every DevOps guy, every basically a software engineer must be aware of. So today's concept is which is related to Docker and then kind of a networking in Docker. The concept is, for example, you are running a container, a Docker container is being run, but somehow the port is not published. You know that there is something called port publish of the container. The port is not published. It's a basically it's a problem. Once the Docker container is running, you cannot publish or expose a port dynamically to the host. Port forwarding or port publishing is very, very important. That is how you can interact with the Docker container from your host machine. But once the containers start running, it's very, very, it's directly it is not possible to forward the post. You know, if you want to forward publish a port, then it has to be at the time of container creation, not when the in between dynamically when the container is running, it is not possible. So just take an example. Let me run the Postgres application. I just made some notes for you. So I take the Postgres application. Okay, let me go and then run the Postgres container. You see that this is the Postgres container. I run the Postgres container. The name of the container is my Postgres. Some environment variables, the password, but the Postgres container is running. You can have a look at it. Docker ps, you can see that the Postgres is running, which is called my Postgres. But you see that the Postgres is running with a port internally inside the container as 5432, but the port is not forwarded. So technically, I cannot connect to this particular container. There is no way that I can connect to this container because unless the port is not published, unless the port is published, I cannot connect to the container. This is a problem. So how can you solve this problem is what we are going to discuss. So how can I solve this problem is there is a solution that we can use something called Socket cat. You can see that netcat. Similarly, there is something called socket cat. Okay, you can think of netcat and steroids. Netcat and steroids means netcat. It has got more features than netcat. Generally, Socat we call it as the command is called Socat. Why do we use the Socat command, which is called nothing but socket cat? It's a multi-purpose command line tool. Socat is what the command line tool. It can establish the two bidirectional byte streams that you can enable the data can transmit between them. As long as they are streams, you can use socat command to transmit the data between them. Okay, that means two data streams. It could be a socket, it could be a Unix socket, it could be a TCP or a UDP or any network socket, any network socket. Cat command is there. Generally, cat command is used to open files. It works on files. Okay, netcat command is there that is used to connect to the networks, different kinds of networks. You can connect to different kinds of. So socat is socket cat command. It is much more advanced than nc command. Okay, it supports TCP, UDP, and then Unix sockets, different kinds of serial ports and all. You can use for the port forwarding. You can use for the network debugging. You can use it as a proxy. You can use for the tunneling purpose and different things. So this command we are using on the Docker. Okay, this command I don't need to install on my machine. I can still run a Docker container as this command. So what I do is, first of all, I create a new network. I create a network. I'm sorry. I create a new network. You know that you can create a Docker network. I go and then create a Docker network. So now a new network, Docker network is created. If you look at the inspect of my Postgres, you see that the Postgres is connected to this particular bridge network. Because I have not mentioned any kind of network to the Postgres whenever I was creating Postgres, it is connected to the bridge network, and then this is the port. If you really look at the inspect command, a container can have multiple networks. It's not necessarily that the container can have only one network. A container can have multiple networks. That is the reason this is a plural networks. So what I do is mynet, I think I created the command called, I'm sorry, I created the command called mynet. I created a new network called mynet. What I do is I connect my Docker network, I connect mynet with my Postgres. Mynet with my Postgres. This new network I have added to the Postgres. This is what exactly. So Docker inspect my PostgreSQL. You can see that now I have two networks. This is a bridge network and the new network called my network. That means Postgres can be connected to a new network which is called mynet, which is called 172.21.0.1 is the default gateway of that particular network. Now, so how can I port forward? I can port forward only if I have a Socat command, but I don't want to install Socat command on my machine. But what if I can run the Socat command as a container as well? So what I do here is this is my Socat Alpine based uh, command which comes with Alpine based. So what I'm running is I'm running a Postgres proxy with a network on my network, mynet, which is in latest network, for which I publish the port 5433 is the port that I would like to give it on my host machine to the 5432. But whatever the traffic that goes to the PG proxy internally, it would be forwarded because socat command is what the command that we are using. It would be forwarded to 5432 on the my Postgres connection. Why my Postgres? How can it be? Because now my Postgres container is also on this particular network, mynet, because we have added the new network to the my Postgres. So whatever the traffic that goes here on this particular container internally, that traffic would be port forwarded to the my Postgres, which is a container name on 5432. As you know that you can give the host name of the container if the container is on not on the default network in Docker. If it is on a bridge network, you cannot give. You have to give the IP address. But my Postgres is also on the new network. So technically, my Postgres is on the mynet as well. It is on the bridge network. It has got two networks. So I am trying to connect 5432 inside the container, which is of this particular container, my Postgres, which is the host name as the container, and also the container name on 5432. This gets forwarded. How this is forwarded? By using socat command. So I run this command. The new container is created, which is called pg proxy docker ps. You can see somewhere pg proxy, this one most probably a pg proxy. Now listening on this is listening on port 5433. That means on my host machine, if I send any data to 54333, it would indirectly it would be tunneled to 5432, which would be forwarded to my Postgres connection. That means even though the Postgres network is you did not publish the post of the Postgres, but you use a proxy by using socat command, socat container, you are proxying or tunneling The data is going from your host machine to the particular Socat proxy, PG proxy. From PG proxy, it is funneled to actually Postgres network. How can I check whether the connection is established or not? You can connect to the Postgres container. If you are using an application, you can do, and then you can connect it. But if you are not using, you can use nc command, netcat command. If netcat command, you are using MacBook or Linux machine, MacBook or Linux machine, you can use the uh, netcat command. You can use netcat command. If you're using on Windows, you can use telnet command. I just would like to check whether the it is connected or not. That's all. I don't want to check whether PostgreSQL database is running or not. That's not what my intention is. I just would like to check whether this is connected. You see that the success. That means whatever the request I have sent to 5433 on my host network, it is proxied through Socat container, and then it would hit the Postgres. It's a bidirectional data. That means even from the Postgres, I get the data back on this particular network. For example, I'm running an application now. My application can be connected to Postgres on this particular port, localhost 5433. Okay, this is what Socat command is very important. We have not installed Socat command, but what we did is we also ran the Socat command as a separate container. But the most important part is the networking part of Docker. Docker has got by default bridge network. When we created here, it is a bridge network. Bridge network does not work on host names, but you can add multiple networks to the same container. That's how we have got the uh, Docker inspect my Postgres. This has got two networks. This is a bridge network with this IP address, and there is a mynet with this IP address. How do I know? You don't need to use the mynet this IP address. You can use the DNS name, because other than bridge network, automatically DNS is enabled on Docker. What is DNS? Dear domain naming server. The container name would become the host name automatically. Okay, you don't need to do anything for that. Okay, all these things are published to GitHub. There is a GitHub location. I just published it. You can have a look at on this particular GitHub. Learning essentials is what actually you can, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and then like this. It is very, very important for me. It would really give me an encouragement to do more